Okay, let me see if we are live. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna just quickly check it at my end. Yeah. Okay, I think we are live now. So we can probably start the discussion.
Let me see. Okay.
Cool. All right. Hi, everyone. This is Saurabh once again, and I welcome you all to my channel. I hope you can see me. Let me see if I can. Right. I hope you can see me. And on this video, we are going to talk about payments once again. And we would be looking into a specific use case wherein what we are going to do is we are going to take a migration use case. So we'll take a empty series message and we will try to migrate that into an MX. So we are not going into the details of this as in break the empty message into chunks and then identify each of the data elements and then do that, but rather what are the things when you approach such kind of an initiative, right? And in this live stream, I have got Nikhil with me, who is an MBA graduate and is currently working as well. Nikhil, do you want to maybe introduce yourself with our viewers?
Hello everyone. I'm Nikhil, and I'm currently working in a company, and I have completed my PGDM just this year. So I'm happy to be on this live team and work with Saurabh.
Hi, Nikhil, do you want to turn your camera on as well? And maybe, so that will be a.
I think my camera is on. You can't see me.
Not yet, no.
Just a second. A PGDM. And now?
Yes, now I can see you. Yeah. Okay. I see one person has joined our live stream at the moment. He's Pankaj Burbure. Hi, Pankaj. Welcome to the chat. If you can just respond to this message, Pankaj, in the chat, if you can hear us well, if you can see us as well. Okay, let me just put a message there. Okay. Cool. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Nikhil. Do you want to just maybe just talk about a little bit about your profile, what you do, etc.?
Okay. So currently I'm working with a company, and I'm working there as a junior BA. So like I have worked with a bank for a project under which I have like created some variable and non-variable loan charts. What we say forms, and that's all I want to say.
Okay, fine. And what is your total overall experience, Nikhil?
I have previously from PGDM, I have 18 months of experience. Like I have working there as a like accountant and bookkeeper.
Okay.
And after that, currently I'm in the company. I'm there for 9 months. Like past 9 months, I'm working there. And
Okay, so
currently
9
I'm
months is your experience, particularly in IT services, is it?
yes.
IT services. Okay. So tell me one thing. What difference, first of all, do you see between your previous profile versus now that you're working in IT services?
Okay, so my previous profile was a company which was firstly not that big. So we were like 10, 12 people there working, and so there was a like specified thing which you have to do in that place. but like currently in this company, like we have to do many things, we have to do many things, so we have to like keep on learning new things to like cope up with this. Like currently, like I'm not from IT background. I have completed my PGDM in like major in finance.
Mm-hmm.
So like it is not that easy to just like without learning if you want to do the things. So in this job you just have to keep on learning new things to be do things.
Yeah, that is very true actually, because now with all the shifts that we are seeing, right, with the data boom coming in and a lot of traction on data and technology is getting outdated like anything, right? We start a migration project, say in January, and in 1.5 years' time, the technology starts getting outdated, right? And so even before you have hit the production, the technology gets migrated. So yes, I think we are, see, when I started my career, right, at that point in time, we were all talking about Java applications, .NET, even mainframes, DB2. These were also ongoing, so at least the support work was still ongoing. It is still today, in some of these major banks. But now when I see and when I talk to the fresh population who is entering into the IT services, they have to deal with this whole data boom, right? And we are talking about data driven applications now, rather than applications that were all like UI driven and had those WebSphere and application server related intensive work. That's not the case anymore, because now everything has been slowly and gradually been moving to cloud. So that is another area, right, which I think it doesn't matter whether you are working as a functional consultant or you're working as a business analyst or you're working in whatever capacity, but cloud is like a thing that everybody is expected to know these days, right? It's going to become like Microsoft Office. You don't write it in your resume, but people know that you are, kind of, it's a given that you understand what Microsoft Office is. And that is going to be the same thing with cloud with time, because everybody is using cloud, right? If not learning, or if not doing it as a developer, at least you're using cloud services to migrate your photographs on your phone, your documents. So when you are using these smartphone devices, still you are accessing those cloud services. So yes, I agree with you, like it's rapidly evolving and rapidly changing. So that is good. Nikhil, let's get into the discussion then. So what we are going to do now is we are going to talk about this migration piece, right? And we will do this on the board, and so you get a feel of how we do this, at least some basic idea, and then we will start putting in some features and stuff in Jira. Okay, we'll try to keep it as a time bound activity. But yeah, like maybe we can just improvise as things progress. And wherever you get stuck up, I'll be there to help you. I'll be there to guide you. And if we both get stuck up, then we'll try to find out an answer and come back. Okay, cool. All right.
Good.
Yeah. So why don't you share your screen and get the board up, the Miro board up there.
Just a second.
Yeah. Progress. And wherever you get stuck up.
Okay. So can you see my screen?
I can see your screen, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So what basically we will do is, so first of all, Nikhil, you have some experience about Agile, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So for the interest of our viewers who might be seeing this, we will be doing this in an Agile way. And what we will do is we will try to put up a Kanban board at the end of this whole thing. And when we talk about Agile, we will be dealing with certain Agile related terminology. So Nikhil, do you want to bring up that Agile document on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So
this one?
Yeah. So okay. Why don't you walk us through this document quickly and let us know what this is, what this contains. And don't worry, if you get stuck up, I'll be there to pitch in and help you.
Okay. So this document is about Scrum. So firstly, we will talk about the Agile. So Agile is a way of working in which we change according to the situation, and like it's a new way of working in which we change every time.
Mm-hmm.
So in this, we will work in a Scrum environment. So Scrum is a like type of thing in which we do works in sprint.
Mm-hmm.
And sprint is like we can say it can depend on a like company to company. Sprint is 2 weeks to 4 weeks. It can depend on that. So the sprint is like a time in which we do things. So firstly, like for example, if we have to create a like we can say application, or we can say a software,
Mm-hmm.
not a software but an application. So firstly, like first thing what we will do, we will like take the requirement that the company want or that the client want.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, what is happening that we create that into user stories.
Yeah.
So what is user stories? User stories is like what we can say small user stories are the requirement, but we have written that in a specified manner.
Yeah.
So it starts with the user stories.
Yeah.
So we have like we can use one or two or any number of user stories in a sprint according to our team, how much our team can work.
Okay.
So
Okay. So if you sorry to interrupt you there, but if you scroll through this document, right? Yeah, pretty much what you said is in line with the Scrum philosophy. So scroll up a little bit. I just wanted to stop on those values there. Yeah, stop it here. Okay. So basically, the whole purpose of going via the Scrum route or Agile route is basically to bring in more transparency in the work, to mitigate the risks as quickly as possible, and to be more realistic with what we can achieve, right? And these are the values on which Scrum is driven, basically commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage, right? So you're committed to, when you commit to a sprint or to a PI, then you obviously are committed to it, and you're saying that you would be delivering it, and you have taken care of all contingencies. Focus is basically you have to focus on the commitment that you have, that you have to complete that particular story or the feature and deliver it. Openness, yes, transparency has to be there in case if there are issues that you are seeing, unknowns, etc. Then you have to bring it to the notice of the team, to the Scrum Master, and try to work on those things. Respect, yes, everybody has to be respected in the team, and courage, of course, to speak up if there are things that are not going right. You must not keep silent, right? So this looks like a very, very bookish thing, but trust me, when you start working in the Scrum methodology driven projects, you understand the importance of each of these words. Initially, when I went through this guide years ago, I used to feel like, okay, this is just like a book definition. But now I feel like, that word commitment, that word focus is actually very, very important. And scroll down now. So Scrum team, we all know we are going to be a part of Scrum team. So Scrum team will have developers, yeah. So, and there'll be a product owner who would be responsible for maintaining the backlog of the product. We would also have a Scrum Master who would be your go-to person in case if you run into any issues, right? So if there is something that's not working, you've got to inform the Scrum Master, and he will drive your daily Scrums as well. There are some ceremonies that we do. What I'll do is I'll also pin the link of this guide in the description for the viewers, but you can just Google and get this from the Scrum website, scrum.org directly. So sprint is basically a period of time wherein we are saying that we will be committing to this particular amount of work in a given period of time. Now that typically varies in organizations from 2 weeks to 3 weeks. That's the usual that we see, but it can be different as well. It depends really on how you want to structure your work. But typically, what we say is that 2 to 3 weeks is the optimal amount of time for committing to a sprint. And then of course, if you scroll down, you would also see sprint planning, where at the beginning of the sprint you do some planning activities and say that this is the amount of work that we are going to deliver in this particular sprint. Scroll down to the daily Scrum. Every day you check the progress of what is happening in the Scrum meetings, right? Daily Scrum calls. And then sprint review is at the end of the sprint, you do a review with the Scrum Master, with the team, with the stakeholders, product owner, and he will make a call to accept whether the accomplished work is up to the standards and as per the requirements or not. And then sprint retrospective is more like a introspection forum where the team collectively looks into what went right, what went wrong, what can we do to improve the things in future. So that's pretty much it about the sprint. I think we've just quickly wanted to cover through the guide. The backlog is something that the product owner will maintain, and he will keep adding features, right? So now, as a part of this live stream, what we are going to do is we are going to translate some of these aspects onto the board, right? And that will also give you that confidence of when you work into live projects in your teams, then you would have seen, or you have at least got a taste of how this thing works, right? And you can also bring in your own ideas there. So what we will do is, why don't you go to the Miro board there, right? And so yeah, go to the Miro board. Now maybe right now we are at a at a very, very nascent stage. We do not know much about what we want to do. All that we know is this is a migration piece of work that we are approaching, right? Well, I think what I should rather say is that we know what we want to do, but how we want to do, etc., and what are the issues, challenges, etc., that we don't know yet. We are going to figure it out. Okay, so for this migration work, we have identified that there are a bunch of messages that need to be migrated from an old format, ISO format, to a new ISO format. So maybe you can just put a label there just so that we know that this is what this is all about. So just say, migration from one ISO format to the other. Yeah, so migration from one ISO format to the other. Cool. And if you are using this board for the first time, there are some options on the left hand side. There are multiple such online collaboration boards. You can use either of them that you are comfortable with. But this is one which is quite popular, and I have used this extensively a lot. So this is kind of my default option that I use. So yeah, you can get rid of that arrow. I don't think we need that. Just click on that, and yeah, just delete it, and that's gone from there. Perfect. Right, now what we are going to do is we are going to put some sticky notes around. Okay, and what we are going to do is we're going to say that what is it that we know at the moment, risks, challenges, what is it, whatever is coming to our minds, we'll try to put it on the board and try to do a kind of a mind mapping exercise here, right? And then we will start refining this as and how we know that these things need to be put on the board, on the Jira board. Right. So now just take a pause here. Think about what things you will need to consider. So you do have some idea about the empty messages, right? I think in your experience in your project, you have some basic idea about what an empty message is. So let's maybe think about if you were to transfer a bunch of empty messages, which you get every day, into your application, into your systems. Why are we first of all doing this migration, right? That's a big question. So put a why there first of all, right? Because that's the question that we are asking. Why are we doing this? All right. And then the second sticky note you can put is what, right? What are we doing? So I think first one should be what, and the second one should be why, but that's fine. You can just move them around. Yeah. So this is how you can move the sticky notes around as well. So try to move them that we are asking. Yeah, if there are any questions, guys, whoever is watching this on the live stream, please put it on the chat there, and we'll try to answer them as things are ongoing. Okay, then the third one is how, right? That's the another thing that we want to answer. So broadly speaking, what are we going to do? We kind of know a little bit, at least, that we are going to migrate empty messages into MX. So basically an empty 101 would translate into a PSES something, right? Into the new ISO format. So from into the 20022 format, basically. Okay, so now that we know that these are three areas. So I think under the what, right, you can just put a small comment there saying Swift ISO messaging translation or migration. Yeah. So we know that this is what it is all about. Swift ISO. Yeah. And I'm making you do all the hard work here because I really want you to drive this and get that confidence that you can pull these things yourself. You may not have much experience, much exposure, but you have to wear the hat of a product owner or a product manager and think from that perspective that what things are required for this work to be accomplished. Okay. So Swift ISO, you can say MT to MX migration. Just put it over there. Right. Now we will think about the why part. Okay. So come to the why section here and take a pause here and think from your experience now. Why do you think this migration is needed, right?
Because MX messages are better in information, if we compare to the empty messages. So they have more information in a message compared to the MX messages. Empty messages, and MX messages are also easy to read.
Yeah. Okay. What else? So put some bullet points there. Put some thoughts there, right? Just no need to write in big sentences. Some keywords there.
Okay.
Yeah. So easy to read and
contains more information.
Yeah. What else?
And it can be changed, so they are flexible. We can say this.
Okay.
We can little bit change that.
Okay. Put whatever is coming to your mind. That's fine.
Flexible.
Do you think you can do more on? Do you think you can do more on the analytics and reporting side with MX as compared to MT?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's another. So improved analytics, you can say. Improved BI and analytics. Yeah. So that's another area. Okay. So I think so this is how I think. So what this will do is this will give you an idea of the things that you want to achieve as a part of this migration. Now, when you start picking up the things and put them together, you will need to see whether all of these initiatives, or rather all of these advantages or your objectives, are being met or not in those features or not, right? If they're not meeting, then you have a serious question to answer. Why do I then still need that feature, right? So you don't need that feature if they're not fitting into this whole perspective of any of these objectives. So that's one thing. Fine. So now that you have written the why part there, let's come to the how part. Again, take a pause here. Think about how you will do this migration. What are the things that will come into your mind? Just think from a general perspective, any migration, not just Swift messaging, I'm saying. Just any migration piece that you do, how do you approach the migration? What do you think would be the logical things to do?
We have to specify the equivalent message. If we have MT 103, so which message is equivalent to that, and tags also. So under MT 103, many tags are there. So what that is if we have to convert that into the MX message, so what are their equivalent tags that we have to use in MX message?
Okay, so we are talking about conversion here, right? That's one thing. So yes. Okay, so conversion, put whatever is coming into your mind. So what else do you think is required? So you remember that it's not just about translating the format, it's also about taking care of basically all the middleware touch points, right? So wherever this message is transmitting and moving across from one system to the other, how is it basically talking to different middleware touch points? And then also about the storage part. So how are you going to store this message And what, because obviously you are storing these messages as well, some at maybe the empty messages also. Maybe you're running some reports on a daily basis. You want to see how many of these empty messages came in. And now because you're moving into a new format, you may also need these reports running in still, right? Because you're reporting your daily reporting, operational reporting that you do for compliance reasons, they will not change. They will still be running as is, correct? And at the same time, there
Yes.
might be some reports that might also be going into an external system, or maybe you are sending it out to a third party. Let's say that this whole migration is being done for a payments firm, right? And that payments firm has to send a month of the end of the month report or a end of the week report to a third party. So there are some compliance reports. Those third parties will not worry about your migration at all. They don't have anything to do with it. They will still expect the reports to be delivered in the same format. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So now with this, what are the things that you would want to take care of in the how part?
Uh,
Take a pause.
Conversion and
Take a pause. Think through. No rush.
like I don't have much that
So basically,
like
that's fine.
information
So
about it.
yeah. So basically, you would need to you would need to um, have some idea about the storage. So put the word keyword there, storage, right?
Storage.
And then you would also talk about compliance, right? So within compliance, your, let's say you put your governance and reporting. Just put a word there. So so we know that these areas need to be also taken care of in the how part, right? So when you do the migration, it's not just simply plainly translating the message from one format to the other. You would need to take care of the governance part, and then you would also need to take care of the reporting, right? So reporting and yeah, so all these areas. Now, whatever you have put on the board at the moment, this is all at a very, very high level, right? Let me also jump onto the board with you, and maybe we will do this then together. Okay, so you keep over there. Can you just zoom out a little bit so we can the entire board is visible. Okay, fine, fantastic. So let me come to the board and see. Fine. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay, yeah, now I can scribble along with you. Okay, so basically, this is your what part, your why part, and your how part. Now, what will happen is you will start doing the next stage of the things, which is refinement, right? What does the word refinement mean? Forget about any agile
Uh,
terminology or anything. Just simply, what do you understand by refinement there?
like giving details to the thing or simplify things.
Correct. Basically simplify and basically to refine it more, right? As we say, when we say refine something, we mean that we want to go into more details, try to understand whether this is in the correct form and shape or not. If not, then try to rectify those gaps. So the what part has to be first of all frozen, and that is where you have to be very, very clear with your objective, right? And in the agile world, we say that this is your objective, your PI objective. It could be a program increment objective. It could be your initiative level objective. But basically, this is where your organization is moving towards, right? And why do we see? Ultimately, at the end of it, everything has to roll up onto your organization level, right? You are doing this migration part as a part of some organization level. Maybe the organization has an objective that they want to upgrade their payment systems to make sure that they are compliant to the latest standards. Now this upgrade can be happening in multiple different departments. There could be so many departments, right? There could be a UI department where all the UI related work is going on. They also need to do some upgrades. You are handling the translation part, so you are doing this particular initiative. But eventually at the top, everything will be roll up to the organization level. Now coming to the refinement part here, the the important bit is you first of all freeze your what, right? Because um, that has to be decided. What is it that you are interested in? And there has to be a clear direction in terms of this is the organization goal and this is what I want to do it. That's your first step. The second step will be to refine the why part. Why am I doing this? We are doing this because it's easy to read, it contains more information, flexible, improve BI and analytics. Is there any other thing that you are missing, right? So what you typically do is then you would meet various stakeholders, right? So you meet stakeholders who could be from various different teams, different departments, from business, from IT teams, and you take their input from them and say that, you know, are we missing something here? Is this what we want to do? Because you from an IT perspective may not have the full visibility of why, right? Because there is a business value to these features, this work. Eventually IT works for business, right? IT will always work for business, and there is a business initiative, there is a business requirement, which is why we are doing this IT project, right? It's never the other way around. So so basically you would have to get that message very, very clear to yourself if you are the you are driving this product, or or also with your team, that this is the why part, this is why we are doing this, and this is something that has to be made very clear to everybody. So there could be more amendments to this why part, right? So basically we have to make sure that all of these things which we are doing, they are being captured appropriately. And the third thing then is your how part. Again, how is something that will be always changing, because there might be situations where you have some dependencies, there might be some changes. So I'll just put it over there. Dependencies are there, right? You have to address the dependencies. There are things which are dependencies, could be external and internal. You might be dependent on an external team, or you might be just dependent on your own internal teams as well for some work, right? Then the how part is because there are some changes. Let's say some there is a change in the change in Swift guidelines, right? If you see, Swift has already revised the timelines for this migration, right? In the real world
Yeah.
also, Swift has revised the timeline. So initially, whatever the time frame they were giving, they have actually revised this now, and they are saying that this is your revised timeline. This timeline will affect you as well, because obviously, right, this is the mandate, and that has been revised because XYZ teams are not ready across the world, or whatever it is. So that is how you will be taking care of the what, why, and how part. How is basically the most critical part when it comes to you working in this team, because what and why are typically business driven here, right? And once you have enough clarity about what and why, you will not go into what and why again. You would always come back to how, and that is where you will be operating. So the how part here is where you would be operating the majority of the times, and we will be refining this. So now that we know this, right, let's go to let's put some risks as well on the board here, right? So on the right hand side, can you just scroll, because I am just doing the scribbling here on the pad. So would you be able to scroll on the left a little bit? Yeah. So okay, yeah, perfect, yeah, that's fantastic. So we will also have to take care of the risks part here, right? What would happen if things go wrong, right? So that risk, again, you do not have that entire visibility of all the risks in the beginning. Risks will unfold with time, right? As you move 1 month, 2 month, 3 month into the engagement, you will find out that there are these risks that are coming in that you had never anticipated in the beginning when you started. So that risk assessment and that mitigation strategy has to be put in place. Usually people use all sorts of methodologies to handle risks. um, you know so there is something called as roam, right? You roam a risk basically. What is roam? So can you go to Google once and just type in roam there, risk, and just type in roam there. Open a tab there at the top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Overlap. Okay.
yeah. We'll come back to the board. Yeah, just type in roam. Okay. No. Risk. Put risk as well over there, along with roam. Yeah, Rome risk management, right? So you see there, it says resolve, own, accept, and mitigate, right? So basically, this is what, come back to the board there. So, so you have to resolve a risk, you have to own a risk, you have to accept a risk, and you have to mitigate a risk, right? So this is how you do the risk management, right? Either you resolve it, or you own it. You know that you can't do first of all, you have to own that risk, sorry. And then once you own that risk, you know that this is your risk, this is something that will affect you. You have to work out on the resolution part, so you try to resolve it. If you can't do anything about it, you have to simply accept it, that yes, this is a risk and we have to go ahead with it. Or you try to mitigate that risk. I don't have a resolution for this, but this is the best I can do, and I can get rid of the risk in this way. So there is a, basically this is one of the things. There are some other ways as well, right? There is $100 rule as well that people use to identify the value versus risk and all of those things. So you can again Google a little bit more about it and find out. But these are basically various theories that you do. But risk management is essentially the critical part where you have a risk board actually, right? So what you do is you create a risk board and you put all those risks over there. So why don't you do one thing? Create a risk board now, okay?
Saurabh, I think.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Now I can hear.
Okay. Why don't you create? So I will put a dotted line there, yeah, and scroll to the left again. Scroll to the left again.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Now you create a risk board on your own. Okay, you start putting the risks of this and whatever, on the basis of whatever you can think of. So you put that text box here with a heading saying risk board. Okay, that's your risk board. And this is your inter-team level board. So if there is a different team, you might be putting that as well and having a dependency and that sort of thing. So we'll not do that for now. What we'll do is we'll try to identify the risks. So put some sticky notes from there. Get some sticky notes and start putting the risks that you think are there in this plan. Think about any risk that you can think of.
Any risk, like.
Yeah. So
Risk for the like total project, na?
Yes, yes. So you know the entire objective now, right? So what do you think can be the risks when you start working on this? Again, take a pause, think through.
Like risk, like if we are converting into MX, but we are not able to like do the empty messages thing.
So conversion itself might not work, correct? There is a risk.
Yes.
Put that there.
Yes.
In small, in maybe some keywords there. Just so we know that these are the risks that we're talking about. Yeah. So conversion may fail.
Yes. Or it can be a storage place where we store. So
okay, put it in another
it
sticky
is
note.
not that.
Yeah. Put another sticky note. So every risk will go into a separate sticky note. Yeah. Because the reason we are picking up these sticky notes is we can move them around easily, and then we can start identifying the dependencies and stuff. Fantastic. So that is your second, that storage. Okay, so storage, what if the storage doesn't work as per my expectations? If I'm not able to retrieve the messages in the same efficient way as I was in the empty, what will happen, etc. What else can you think of?
Like systems not supporting that message.
Which systems not supporting? Identifying the dependency and stuff. Which systems?
It can be a system or the other system.
Okay, so put it over there as dependencies or system dependencies, etc. Put that as one sticky note there. System dependencies, fine. So the system dependencies could be external and internal both, right? They could be dependent on a third party system, maybe external, or within your organization itself externally, outside your team. Maybe you're dependent on UI for something, or maybe you're dependent on infrastructure teams for something. So that's dependencies. That's a very good point actually that you made, and this typically is a big dependency there, right? What else?
Mm, it can be people don't understand like MX message, something like that.
Skills, yeah. So
Yes.
skills. Put a sticky note there. And what if people leave your team? What if people resign? That's also a risk.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes, yes.
people risk is there. So all this will come under skills and people. Just put one sticky note for skills and people. That is another risk that you have to take care of. What if somebody resigns at the end of 3 months? How are you going to manage that
Mm,
contingency, right? And do you have sufficient documentation? So again, that will bring up a lot of work into your board around documentation, skill upgrading. How do you make sure that everybody in the team can be cross skilled, can pick up the task if somebody else is absent or has left the team? And that is all going to translate into Jira slowly and steadily. See, it will all come naturally to you. It will all come naturally to you once you start putting things here on Miro, and you start connecting the dots, you start putting the risks, you start connecting the dependencies. Then Jira is just, it's just a placeholder for these things. So there is nothing fancy in that. Okay. So, okay,
yes.
I'm just conscious of the time as well. So I think we are almost 45 minutes into the live stream. Okay, so I think what we will do is that we will take a stop here. And now that you know what we are doing here on the board, would you be able to
Okay.
put some more things on the board in terms of the risks, etc.? How whatever you can, and then start putting these things to Jira. Okay, go to Jira once.
Yes.
I'll show you how we do this, and then you can. So right now there are a lot of unknowns, etc. We'll use the Kanban for now. So that's your Kanban board. Fantastic. So you have the board up already. I can access this board. You can access this board, right? So I will review this board
Yes.
when you're done. Why don't you start creating some features there, right? So what you do is go to the board and okay, click on that create button at the top. Okay, all that you will do, whatever you do would be under this payments project only here, right? So that issue type,
Okay.
as we discussed in the beginning, could be a story, it could be something else, right? So click on the drop down and let's see what options do we have there. So we have a bug, we have an epic. Okay, so what is an epic?
Like epic is like a statement which is the total project that we like a big part of the project that we are working on.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are changing like MT to MX message,
Mm-hmm.
so under there it can be many things. Like firstly, we will if we will do conversion, like conversion of MT message to MX message. So our first epic can be conversion of MT message to MX
Yes,
message,
yes, yes, yes. So
like
basically,
that.
and then it will break down further into user stories. Correct?
User stories.
Correct. So
Yes.
what you do is you start creating some epics here, whatever you can think of, depending upon the objectives, risks, etc.
Okay.
Okay. Then what we will do is maybe if you are meeting next week or tomorrow, however you are comfortable, let me know. We will start looking into the things in detail further from here, right? So
Okay.
so that will give you a 360-degree view of, okay, what are the things that I want to do. These are my 10 or 5 epics. Don't create too many epics. Create an epic only when it has a unique value or a unique objective that it can fulfill. If there are two epics which are pointing to the same objective, then it should be clubbed into one epic.
Okay.
Try to think it like that, right? So it has to add that feature to your product. Okay, so conversion is one feature, storage is one feature, right? Translation, or not translation, actually analytics is one feature that you want to drive. So just we'll keep it at that level for now. Okay, so start creating some features here in the board, and improvise on the Miro board as well, whatever you can. Look for some videos on YouTube as well, that will help you in case if you are stuck. There are a lot of videos you can find online of how we can use Miro and to do more stuff there. And then we can meet again at a mutually
Okay.
agreed time and stream it live for our members as well. on the channel.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that is really good. What do you think? How was it? Did you feel good about it? Not good about it? What else would you think that could have helped you on this?
Yes. I think it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will try to like do the things that you have said,
Mm-hmm.
and in this way, I will learn many things.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think yeah, maybe this we can improvise from here, and then we, if at all there is interest and if we want to do it, we can then go into the details of that MT and MX translation. Yeah. So there is a
Yes.
document that I will bring up on the screen. Let me bring it up. Let me share my screen. Okay. Let me see if I can. Okay, can you see the document?
Yes.
Customer payments and checks. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the document. And that is basically, it will tell you that an MT101 request for transfer gets translated into a pain.001 MX, right? And what's the name there? Then there is a MT102 M0. So this is basically an entire mapping, and this is what we want to do at the end of it, right? So that MT101 gets translated into a pain.001. But what are the things that we need to do? Refer the Swift website as well for details here. Okay,
Okay.
refer to the Swift website. Put some questions if you have on the board. Do everything on the board. If you are stuck somewhere, not clear, put it on the board there. That this is an area that you want to create a separate section for unknowns or something, or dependencies, whatever you feel, and put those points there on the board. That okay, this is, I don't know about this. Timelines, not sure, I don't know about this. Put it on the board there. Okay, and then we can take it up from there. Cool.
Okay.
All right, Nikhil. I think that was really good, and I think despite the fact you did not had much background to this, the whole board-driven approach, I think you did a fantastic job, to be honest. And I hope that you will find this useful in your projects, in your team somewhere at some point in time.
Thank you for like.
No worries, mate. Okay, I think that's it then. We will stop the live stream, and I will see you all once again at some point in time, maybe either this week, again tomorrow, or next week, and we will take it up further from there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time.